You've seen it happen, right? A single shipping delay somewhere in the world suddenly turns into a global product shortage, or a new market trend pops up overnight and makes your bestseller totally obsolete. Look, in a world where disruption is just normal now, simply reacting to problems isn't going to cut it. So today, we're going to talk about how to get out of that cycle of constantly putting out fires and start building a business that can actually see what's coming and thrive because of it.
So let me just ask you, does your day feel like a constant scramble? Are you always trying to expedite late orders, fixing the same quality issues over and over, and just reworking mistakes? If that sounds familiar, yeah, you're not alone. But here's the thought. What if all that constant firefighting isn't really crisis management? What if it's actually something else entirely?
And that right there is the first huge distinction we need to make. We've got to understand what we're really dealing with. Is it a genuine, out-of-the-blue crisis, or is it a chronic problem that just keeps showing up?
Okay, check this out, because this really breaks it down. On one side, you've got daily firefighting. That's just you reacting to the same old known problems. It's a symptom, a sign that your actual system is kind of broken. But on the other side, true crisis management is how you respond to a genuine surprise, a really unexpected, high-impact event. The real takeaway here? All that firefighting, it just wears you out on the stuff you could have prevented, leaving you with zero energy for the stuff you could never see coming.
So you might be wondering, why do so many companies get stuck in that firefighting loop? Well, a lot of the time, it really comes down to the tools they're using. The old-school ways of managing risk, they just weren't built for the world we live in today. Let's really dig into why these old tools just don't work anymore. Think about things like an FMA, a failure modes and effects analysis, or those standard risk registers. They've got some major flaws. First, they're static. It's a picture from one day, not a live video feed. They're also super subjective, based on what people think might happen, not on real data. They're isolated. Some specialist in a back room fills it out, not the team actually doing the work. This makes them reactive. It's just a check-the-box thing you do. And finally, they're siloed, stuck in some spreadsheet that nobody can access or update easily. The bottom line is, these tools are great at creating a paper trail, but they're terrible at building a real defense.
And this quote it nails it. They treat risk as an isolated task, not part of execution. When you do that, when risk management is the separate thing you have to do for an audit, it never becomes part of your company's DNA. It's an assignment, not a strategy.
So if the old way is broken, what do we do? Well, this is where a concept called Integrated Process Excellence, or IPE, comes into play. And it's not just a new tool, it's a completely different way to think, see, and handle risk. And wow, the difference is night and day. The traditional way is all about creating documents to keep the auditors happy. It's about compliance. IPE, on the other hand, is about creating a live system that actually helps your team. It's about building real capability. It's the difference between having a dusty binder on a shelf and a live dashboard that helps you win every single day.
Okay, so how does IPE actually do this? How does it build that organizational muscle? It's not magic, believe me. It's a really disciplined system, and it's built on a few core pillars that we're about to walk through right now.
All right, this is basically the engine of IPE, these 6 pillars. Number 1, visible flows. Everyone sees the whole process from start to finish, not just their one little piece of the puzzle. 2, early warnings. We stop tracking when things break and start tracking the little signs that predict they're going to break. 3, fast feedback loops. Think daily huddles where problems are spotted and solved in hours, not weeks. 4, flexibility. You cross-train your people so that if one person is out, the whole system doesn't grind to a halt. 5, shared data. A single source of truth so we're all looking at the same numbers. And finally, you put all that together and you create number 6, a culture of foresight where you're not just reacting, you're anticipating.
Now, what's really cool is that this proactive way of thinking, it doesn't just help with operational risk. It completely changes how we should think about a word we hear all the time, sustainability. It's about so much more than just being green.
This is so key. In this model, true sustainability has 5 parts that all have to work together. Yeah, of course, there's environmental responsibility, but there's also operational resilience. Can your business actually handle a shock? There's people capability. Are your employees growing and engaged? Financial viability. I mean, can the business actually stay in business? And finally, cultural continuity. Are you built to learn and adapt? Think about it. A process that's super green but burns out all your employees, well, that's not sustainable at all, is it?
And this new perspective totally transforms departments like Environment, Health and Safety, or EHS. The old way, it's a separate department focused on checklists and reacting to accidents, what we call lagging indicators. The IPE way makes safety a shared responsibility for everyone and focuses on leading indicators, like near misses. It's a huge shift from asking, okay, who do we blame for this, to asking, what can we learn from this so it never, ever happens again?
So as we start to pull all these ideas together, the real journey here is about a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about going from being constantly reactive to being consistently ready for whatever comes next.
And here's what it all boils down to. Real resilience, real sustainability, you're not going to find it in some special program or a glossy annual report. It's the outcome of discipline. It's the daily discipline of balancing today's results with tomorrow's needs. It's about making this way of thinking part of how everyone in the organization works every single day.
So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Think back to the last major disruption your company faced. What did you really learn from it? And maybe more importantly, when you look ahead, what's the next risk that's hiding in plain sight that you're just not seeing yet? Because being ready for that one, well, that's what truly defines a resilient organization.